After his big, giant success with Arnold Schwarzenegger with Terminator 2 Judgment Day, James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger would team up once again to make one more collaborative effort, and this is the one I've been excited to talk about. What's going on, everyone? This is going to be my thoughts and my review for True Lies. Now, as I'm recording this, it is 1 something in the morning. This is a re-record, of course, so by the time you see this, this will be long overdue. I definitely apologize if the camera reviews has not been consistent. There's been a little sick and such has been going on, but we're going to finish it. Whether through like this or a voiceover, we're going to finish it before Way to Water next week. But this is going to be my review of True Lies. This is the movie I've been waiting to talk about, and I'm going to be very quiet as I'm talking about this. So my microphone is going to pick up me talking. It's just going to be a little bit more softer, because everyone is sleeping and I have to make sure I keep it quiet as I'm reviewing this. But if you guys are new to the channel, all my social media links to my Facebook all the way up to my Serial Lies in the description box down below. If you would like to send any money to my Cash App or Chime, that's down there as well as my Amazon wish list and my email, my address, so that way you can send it to my address. And I'm not asking for any fan mail, but if you guys want to send anything like a gift or a letter or something from my wish list, you can do that as well. That being said, let's talk about this underrated film.
Kick-ass. All right!
You ready?
Ready!
Correct!
This is directed and written by James Cameron, stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, Elijah Dushku, Art Malik, Tia Carrere, Grant Heslov, and the late Charlton Heston, and the remake based on a French comedy film called La Totale. Arnold Schwarzenegger got the idea of this movie from a brother-in-law, and so he took it to James Cameron, and he was fascinated by the idea. And Schwarzenegger always wanted to do a movie like that because he thought the super secret agent character was interesting. Cameron was surprised because he had never seen Schwarzenegger suggest a project based on his interests. So after he watched the film, Cameron loved the idea, and so he had different writers writing it until he decided he wasn't very happy with the script, and so he went and wrote the movie himself. So with that, we got the movie we got now, and this movie was the first to have a $100 to $120 million budget, and this was also the first produced under Lightstorm Entertainment and the first to have visual effects under Digital Domain. So with that being said, how does this movie still hold up? This movie still holds up very well. This is one of my favorite James Cameron films, one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely one of the best action movies of all time, and definitely one of Schwarzenegger's best movies. This is the black sheep of James Cameron's career, and not many people know that this is a James Cameron movie. Secretly a spy, but thought by his family to be a dull salesman, Harry Tasker is tracking down nuclear missions in the possession of Islamic jihadist Aziz. Harry's mission is complicated when he realizes his neglected wife Helen is contemplating an affair with Simon, who is a used car salesman who claims he is a spy. When Aziz kidnaps Harry and Helen, the secret agent must save the world and patch things up with his marriage at the same time. Let's get into everything I love and a few things I don't like in this movie, because there is so much I want to talk about, and I promise this is not going to be so long. So of course, as I just said, the big production history. This movie came out, big hit, big success, $378 million, got Oscar nominations, got a Golden Globe nomination too for Jamie Lee Curtis, which is well deserved. But I do want to take my time and talk about this movie in depth. If you want your own movie palette of a movie of your choice, well, stick around because I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about moviepalette.com. So Movie Palette is an official website where you go online and you're able to get any color palette of a movie of your choice. The movies ranges from Harry Potter to Titanic to something like The Lord of the Rings, The Wizard of Oz, The Matrix, Enter the Dragon, Avatar, you name it, those movies are all on moviepalette.com. If you don't see a movie of yours that you love that's on there, you can definitely put in the request section and they will have that request and they will do it for you. This is a very awesome idea of a movie palette where they take a series of scenes and they make it into one big giant canvas, making it for the entire color scheme of that said movie. It's really awesome. I was very fortunate to get one of these. Mine is of course Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and it is amazing. If you guys want one of these movie palettes, definitely go to moviepalette.com and order one, and also be sure to use my discount Future15. That's FUTURE15. Anyone who uses my discount code, I will get 20% off for every commission that everyone uses. Use that discount if you want one. Pick out one of your choice, and with that being said, thank you, Movie Palette, for allowing me to talk about this in this video. The movie's biggest strength, where the strength lies, is the blend of tones. It has the action of a 007 movie, you have the comedy in here that's very energetic, you have some sexiness in there sprinkled throughout the runtime, and you have a hint of drama and family drama and a sense of spy adventure. And the plot, sure, it is simple enough, but there's enough in there to keep you intrigued. You have a spy who is trying to keep lies from his family and work out the things going on with his wife that may or may not be cheating on him, but also stopping this big terrorist from destroying the world. That may seem like a lot to juggle for a movie like this, but I think the way James Cameron handles it and the way that he portrays it, I think is really well executed. You can tell that James Cameron, in the true Cameron style, in the way that he does the movie exactly what you want to see. In the hands of a lesser known writer and a lesser known filmmaker, this could easily be one of those pretentious, overly complicated spy movies that could easily be a dud. But James Cameron understood the assignment, and he's able to take all these different genre blends and make it work and make it effective. And that's what I very much love about a movie like this, that he's willing to take all these different genres and make it work. And that's the biggest positive I can give to it, is his direction is strong and is very competent. And not only that, I think the writing here is also really competent as far as the characters and the comedy goes. And the comedy works really well for the most part of this movie. There's a few jokes that doesn't land, but a lot of the comedy, I'm laughing, I'm enjoying the comedy. You sit there, you're just having a good time with the comedy. And if you're gonna do a spy comedy thriller like this, the one thing you have to nail is the comedy. You can have the action, you can have the good idea, but if you don't execute the comedy right, then your movie will crumble because of that. And that works in the movie's biggest favor. I will say that for the $100 million budget, this movie uses its budget on screen. There's some great effects, early CG work. You have some great miniature work and some great practical work, some great stunt locations. CG is used very well, and they do work out very well for what you expect out of a movie like this. And like I said, with a lesser known director, this stuff could look really bad, but You could tell that the effects team and the miniature team and stunt choreographies and stunt coordinators, they put all of their work and their dedication into this. And that's the one thing you can count on with James Cameron, is whether you like the guy for how many Avatar movies or hate him, you have to admire his craftsmanship and his passion for a type of movie like this. He knows what he's doing, he understands the assignments, and he knows exactly what you want to see. He's not going to sugarcoat it, he's not going to hold your hand, he's going to give you exactly what you're going to see for. The action scenes in this movie are so well edited and well done, and they just make your jaw drop, and they just get you very tense, get you anxiety filled. And there is one action scene that will make 007 look jealous, and you will pay to see it in a 007 movie in the future if they ever did something like this. It's in the climax, but it's just a lot of fun to watch, especially with the helicopter hanging scene, which that was actually Jamie Lee Curtis. She actually did that on her birthday. So you can say whatever you want about Jamie Lee Curtis, but she is always dedicated and she always understands the assignment, for better and worse. But we'll touch on Jamie Lee Curtis a little bit later. Acting in this movie is very good. This is Schwarzenegger at the top of his game. Back then, he was doing a lot of comedies like Jingle All the Way and Last Action Hero, and then this movie, and then Twins and Junior. He's very good as the comedy. He has me laughing. I was liking his character. I like the character development for him. He's a very likable character. I think this is one of his best characters. His one-liners, his comedic timing, his serious badass action, he is on top of his game, and he is fantastic in this movie. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. Playing an agent, pretending to be a salesman to deal with a double life and to deal with the things going on with his family life, that could be very challenging for someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger or another actor to do, but I think Schwarzenegger does it tremendously well.
You're fired.
Actors like Tom Arnold in here, who's really good here. I like his character. He's very fun, very charismatic, and this is a pairing that should not work. And at the time when they were making this movie, Tom Arnold, he didn't expect to get a part in this movie, but he did some scenes with Schwarzenegger and Cameron immediately, and then Cameron noticed the chemistry between them, and then he put him in. And so at the time, his reputation wasn't so positive because with the antics of Roseanne, but Cameron fought to get him cast, and that was just pretty awesome. Also with Schwarzenegger, he almost had a near fatal accident on set during the horse riding scene, but his personal stuntman saw what happened and he grabbed him before he went over the ledge. So Schwarzenegger, gotta give him credit for doing stunts. He's doing all of this to make people get entertained.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
Also, the rest of the cast here, of course, you got Tia Carrere as one of the henchmen of the main villain. She has gone on and said this is her best role because she has fun to play a villain, and she has fun in it. There's one problem I have with her, but I know her from the voice of Lilo and Stitch, and she's a well-popular singer, so she is good in this movie. She's not in it very much, but I think she does the best she can with what she's given. You also have the late Bill Paxton, of course, which he's another one of the best parts of the movie, of course, as the character of Simon. He's the used salesman who's trying to con everyone into being an agent, but he is fun playing this guy trying to get all the girls, and he's really fun in the new role. It's very nice to see him play this type of role, and it just makes you miss Bill Paxton more. The guy was a great actor, and it sucks that he was taken from us too soon, because he had more to give. Watch him here, he's just having fun, and you could tell that he loved working with James Cameron. And he is really good in this movie. Charlton Heston in a Nick Fury type leading role. He's not in it very much, but I think he does very good with what he has in this movie. Charlton Heston, another great actor. Ten Commandments, Planet of the Apes, may he rest in peace. I thought he was also very good in this movie. Haslive is also really good here for his screen time. You also got Elijah Dushku, yes, Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, C from Bring It On, the rebellious girl in one of her first earlier movies, and she's good in the movie for a little bit. I have to address the elephant in the room that during the filming of this, she was sexually assaulted by the stunt coordinator, and according to one of her friends soon after that, her friend confronted him on set, and that same day, she was injured during a stunt and several of her ribs were broken. And
Whatever this is,
It's going on your permanent record!
anyone who thinks that is okay, that is not okay, because no person should have to go through that when they're young and experienced. But putting that aside, Elijah Dushku is very good in this movie. Do have to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis here, because this is one of her best roles, and this is one of the most beautiful roles she's ever looked. She is amazing in this movie, she's fantastic, she is very good as the neglected wife. She has great chemistry with Arnold Schwarzenegger, she's fun, she's charismatic, she's likable. She can be a little bit on the bitchy side, a little bit, but I think for what she does, she's very good here. She's very awesome here. I think she has some great moments. The infamous strip scene, dance scene with her. So a lot of people say that's a little problematic and misogynistic, but it's not really that big of a problem when you compare it to something like 50 Shades or After or 365 Days. It's a entertaining moment for the guys. Some people may look at that and say it's problematic, but it was the 90s, it's a product of its time, and it still gets a laugh out of me. And during the shooting of that scene, when they were doing that scene, that was actually Jamie Lee Curtis actually doing that. Falling down and... She and James Cameron, they did rehearse that scene extensively, and so they did another take, and it wasn't as spontaneous. And so Arnold Schwarzenegger, the scene with the tape recorder, he wasn't supposed to drop the tape recorder, but Cameron liked that so much that he kept it in. But that was one of the most infamous, sexiest scenes in a movie, and it's honestly, most people will have a problem with it, but most girls, if they're not scared to take pride in being who they are, embrace it. Some people usually say, if you got it, flaunt it.
say what?
That's an infamous scene that I don't need to say anymore on. Fun fact with this was Arnold Schwarzenegger, his biggest challenge was not doing the physical stunts, but doing tango. So he has to rehearse the scene for about 6 months so he can get good at it. And the final result turned out to be really good. Technical aspects aside in this movie, this is a very well shot and a well lit movie by Russell Carpenter. The way he shoots the action scenes, it's in letterbox widescreen. You can see what's going on. There's not 175 cuts on screen. All of the action is crystal clear, it's perfect, it is well designed, well choreographed, well edited, and you can see what's going on. They don't shy away from any of the explosions, any of the brutality, and this is a hard R. This is not PG-13, so this is not a movie for the kids. The movie is well shot. Russell Carpenter's cinematography is really well done. I also love the costume design in this movie. The production design by Peter Lamont, a former 007 production designer, may he rest in peace. Amazing. This would be the first movie he worked on with James Cameron, which is the big one I'll get to next. Production design, very good. I love the production design in this movie. It is a very well shot film. It's a very well lit film. Editing from Mark Goldblatt, Conrad Buff, and Richard Harris is top notch. I really do like the editing for the most part. There are some problems with editing, we'll get into it, but this is a very tightly well edited film, especially in the quieter moments, in the funny moments, and even in the action sequences is well edited. For the final collaboration with James Cameron, Brad Fiddel's score is not one of his best, but I think it's a pretty solid score and a very good way to go out on. Would be nice to hear Brad Fiddell do music for something again, but he's retired now. But he gave us a pretty awesome score. Some great effects work and action choreography stunts. As I said, all of that is very, very good. So there is a lot in this movie that I can admire. As much as I've gushed and praised this movie, I do have a few criticisms held at this movie. Even though I love Bill Paxton in this movie, and I do like the whole subplot, I do think there is a smarter way, and you could have, this whole sequence either could have been trimmed a little bit for time, or you could have cut out some of that. Now I understand by cutting that out, you're cutting out one of the best parts of the movie, so it's pretty difficult to try and cut him out because it's Bill Paxton, but I'm just saying you could have tweaked around with some of it. And even the scenes with Tia Carrere, which is beautiful and as badass as she is as a villain, she doesn't really do much in this movie. And those could have been removed for time, and that's easily will save you 15 to 10 minutes alone. Because I will say, for a Cameron movie, it is a little bit too long for a Cameron spy action movie, but that's James Cameron. You do have to expect that when you watch a movie of his. Some moments of comedy that isn't always the best. I'm constantly on just rewatch like, I'm not sure about that. Alright. Or not very strong, but okay. There is some early CG work that is a little bit dated. So it's not bad, it's just some of it is a little dated. This last issue absolutely has nothing to do with the movie itself, but we still have not got this movie on 4K and Blu-ray. Now, we're supposed to get The Abyss and Avatar in early 2023, and he said in a recent interview for The Way of the Water that a 4K is coming, but he's been saying this for years, but we just need to go ahead and get that 4K out with new features, commentary, and such, and take some stuff from the older home media editions, put it onto the 4K, and you should be fine. So what's the problem? Go ahead and put the 4K out, James Cameron. Overall, True Lies is a great spy action comedy and a great James Cameron film that has a lot to offer in its acting, action, the comedy, the tone blends, the adventure, technical aspects. Despite its little shortcomings with the runtime and some of the comedy and some dated CG, this is one of Cameron's better films. There's a reason why this is one of my favorite action films. There's a reason one of my favorite films of all time. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It's on Hulu, it's on Peacock. Those are the only ways you're going to watch this movie unless you have a DVD or a VHS or a Laserdisc. And until we get that 4K and Blu-ray release, I definitely watch this. If you are someone who hasn't seen this, what are you doing watching me? Go watch this movie. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie an Epictastic for being awesome. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel here, so you would like to see anything here, click the channel icon, subscribe for more. I will also leave a video and maybe a playlist here, so in case you want to see what I'm about. As always, stay Epictasticness, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.